Welcome to a new week and welcome to Motivation Moment. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. In a previous episode, I talked about how I make friends for a living. Remember? I make friends for a living. What do? If you haven't seen that episode, I will link it here, or it'll be down in the description for you to check out if you want to watch it. But I had said in that episode that I started saying I make friends for a living many years ago after I met my mentor. I've talked about him in past episodes, but no one really knows who this infamous mentor is, right? And if you do, you are one of the lucky ones. If you know who I'm talking about, before I tell you, like this or put a message and let me know if you know who I'm talking about. He's an incredible person, and I am one of the luckiest people in the entire world to know him, one, but also to have mentored under him and still mentor under him to this day. And you know what? We sell against each other. He works for one company, I work for another, and technically we sell against each other, and he still mentors me, and we still talk almost every week. Lately it's been a little less, but I was so grateful. The other weekend I ran into him at the grocery store and it truly made my day. So let's talk about him. His name is Doug. And today I want to tell you the story of how I met Doug. And it's a pretty funny story, so stick with me. I don't even know what year it was because I'm terrible with years, but I had an amazing job. I worked for a local contractor who to this day is still like family to me. I love them dearly, but I had hit kind of a wall and I was missing something, not because of them, it was within me. And I knew I needed to find something that I could get out and get in front of people, talk to them. And I had coffee one day with a good friend of mine, and I was telling her these things. I said, you know what? I wish I could work somewhere that I could talk to people, meet people, help people, but yet still have that design aspect. Because design is my life. I love design. It's built into me. And she looked at me and said, I might have someone you need to talk to. I was like, okay, who is that? She said, his name is Doug, and he works for a local commercial furniture dealer. And I said, okay. She's like, I'll make the contact if you're interested. Part of me was like, I don't even know what she's talking about, but okay. So I didn't know what they were looking for. I just knew this Doug guy worked for a local commercial furniture dealer. Sidebar, which means they'd help design commercial, which is big buildings and anything that is public facing. So commercial spaces and sold commercial furniture. Not residential, not for your home. So there you go. End sidebar. So I went out to DC to spend time with my college roommate, Hannah. Shout out to Hannah. It was such a great trip, and I will never forget the day when we were in this really great art museum. My phone was on E, empty, redlining, telling me, never going to work again. You gotta plug me in, I need some juice. So, and then also, we were in the basement of this art museum, no service. Well, I get a text message from my friend back in Wisconsin. And she says, you need to call Doug right now. I'm like, who's Doug? I'm like, who's this Doug character? And she's like, call Doug right now. Here's his phone number. He wants to talk to you. Just imagine. Can you hear me now? That's what I was trying to do through this entire art building. I found this little tiny corner that I got 2 bars of service. And again, I'm still on red. So I'm like, this phone could die at any moment right now. I call. And Doug picks up and says, pretty much, hey Katie, when are you gonna be back in town? And I said, I'll be back on Friday. This is a Wednesday. He said, okay, where are you flying into? I said, La Crosse Airport. Okay, great. I have a project out there. I'll meet you there. Let's keep in touch. You can text me and we'll meet there. And I was like, okay, thanks. Bye, Doug. Click. And I'm like, what is happening? Okay, so let's think about this. I'm in DC for a vacation, a week-long vacation. I have no professional clothes. I had pretty much one outfit left to wear on the plane back, my flying clothes, travel day clothes. And I'm meeting some stranger in an airport? What? Okay, keep with me now. Friday comes around. I had a layover in Chicago, and I flew to Chicago, and then there was a delay. So I had to text him. Hey, Doug, my plane is delayed. I don't know what time I'm gonna get there. He says, no problem, just text me before you take off. Because it's about an hour flight from Chicago to La Crosse. I said, okay. Mind you, I had to message my contact that was gonna pick me up from the airport and just say, hey, to be determined, I am meeting someone at the airport for a job meeting. Don't know what this means. Okay, now let's just hold for a second. I know some of you are thinking, what? Why would she meet a stranger in the airport? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, okay? So I'm not that crazy. Okay, bear with me here. I get on this tiny little plane. It's a 2 seats on one side, one on the other, little puddle jumper, sat next to a girl who was around my age, and I made friends with her, of course, because I make friends for a living. I didn't know it at the time. But she was from Germany, and I said, okay, here's the deal. I'm meeting this stranger to go talk about a job, and I need you to back me up, because if he's crazy, I need you to help a girl out. And she's like, I got you, girl. So we had this whole plan. Get off in the La Crosse Airport, and that's before it got really nice. It was like 2 gates, and it was terrible. So we get off, and I'm like nervous, getting my bags, and I'm like looking around the airport, like, again, a room, and I'm like, where is this? So I pick up my phone and dial it, and I see someone grab their phone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there he is. It's this older gentleman, salty hair, nice cut at least, standing there with his arms crossed and a leather jacket on. And I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? I walk up, introduce myself, and shake his hand. Again, this was pre-COVID. He then says, it's very nice to meet you, let's go grab some coffee. In my mind, I'm like, sounds great, it's cool. There's no coffee in the La Crosse Airport at this time. There was no coffee shops. So I'm just like, what? So I start frantically texting my friend that referred me to this stranger, saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to get coffee with Doug. If I die, you know who did it. She pretty much said, you're being dramatic, stop it. It's Doug, he's awesome. Believe me, just go spend time with him. He'll tell you about the job, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? So we start walking out, and I'm just like texting frantically, like, this is terrible, this is a bad idea. Like, Mom and Dad, did you not teach me stranger danger? Come on. I would not suggest this for anyone to do. So everything I've told you from leading up from before until now and after, do not do what I did, okay? Please don't. Just don't do it. The story has a happy ending, but don't do it, okay? So we walk out, and I'm just like nervous, and he's just chatting with me, just the nicest guy. He like reminds me of like my grandpa, kind of like hanging out. Sorry, Doug, don't get mad, but come on, you could be my grandpa, so we're cool. And so we're walking out, and I'm behind him, and you guys, we walk up to a van. Yeah, a minivan. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. Start praying. Like, I lived a pretty decent life. I could have done more with my life. But my life is over now because I'm getting in a van with a stranger. Again, Mom and Dad, you should have taught me better. It gets worse. He's a gentleman and opens up the side door to put my luggage in so I can get in the front seat. There are tools everywhere in the back of his minivan. Then I'm like, oh, now it's for sure done. God, whoever anyone believes in, I believe in God. This is it, right? Is it, what did I do in my life to make you so upset that now I'm going to die because this man is taking me in a minivan? Okay? Yeah. Guys, this is what I was feeling, right? In my mind. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty dramatic. I get it. But that's what I was feeling. Still, frantically, my friend's like, knock it off. Just go talk to him. I'm like, does she even like me? Does she even like me? Okay, so that long story. Next part. We drove over to the local Caribou Coffee. Not an ad. We sat there for 2 hours and talked. And for anyone that knows me, knows I can talk a lot, yes. But so can Doug. So this time, it was him. Doug, if you're listening, it was you, my friend. You talked the whole time. He drilled me with really difficult questions. Like, it was like an interview that I never expected or wanted and was not prepared for, even in the smallest amount. And we talked and talked for 2 hours. And at the end of that conversation, he puts his hand on the table and goes, all right, Katie, the president of the company will call you Monday morning. I'm like, for what? He pretty much, what he told me is he wants me to come be in sales. Mentor under him. So then he can retire someday. Again. For the 4th time. Like the 5th time now, Doug. And I was like, okay. This was a Friday. Monday morning, the president of that company called me and said, I've heard great things about you. I want to meet. Let's meet in 2 weeks. What? 2 weeks goes by. The entire time, I told myself, I am not taking this job. I am not going into sales. I cannot do just straight commission. I have crazy student loans. One of my biggest goals is to get out of debt. If you have not seen that video, description below, it's there. That video is there too, being debt free. I didn't want any of it because I said I need to make some money so I can pay off my debt. So in my mind, as I'm driving to this meeting 2 weeks later with the president of the company, we met at a Perkins. Thanks, Bob. And we sat down and we talked. We talked for a little bit. He pushes a piece of paper across the table with the offer. It was not straight commission. It was salary plus. My mind blew. I'm like, what am I going to do now? The entire 2 weeks I've been telling myself I'm not taking this job. Then, here comes through the door Doug. Cool leather jacket, sweet hair, walks in, puts his hand out and says, nice to see you again, Katie. I can't wait to start working with you. I didn't accept anything yet. What? That meeting was done. I left with such confusion in my mind. And oh, by the way, this was a Wednesday. They needed the answer by Friday. I took the job. And I am one of the luckiest people in this entire world to have been mentored and trained and taught by Doug. I'm the luckiest person in the world to have Doug in my corner. He has taught me more than I could ever tell you. Not just sales, but about life, being a good person. And granted, I was raised by 2 of the best parents in the world, but Doug is this amazing addition to that. And Doug, I know you'll watch this, so I want to tell you thank you so much for seeing something in me that I never saw in myself. Thank you so much for pushing me to be the best person I could be every day. And I know right now you're rolling your eyes, saying, oh, she's crazy. Yeah, I know, Doug. But it's because of you and my parents, but a big part of you for seeing something and pushing me and giving me a chance, giving me the chance to know who I am. So thank you. So you guys, that's the crazy story of how I met my mentor. And I always tell my parents, it goes, God, my parents, and Doug is right on their tails. So I tell them, if you guys make a wrong move, Doug will jump up above you. So I really, really don't want anyone to do the things I did. It's not smart to talk to a stranger, but I did trust my friend. She's never done me wrong. She knew him very well. Yes, it sounded really dramatic, but that really was what was going through my mind. But I am so grateful every single day for meeting Doug. He has been such a blessing in my life. And I will live every day to what he has taught me to make him proud. Because that's how I feel. I want to make him proud every single day. Because he has taught me so much. And I don't even know how I could repay him for everything he has taught me. For me to repay Doug is I'm going to make him proud every single day. And no, please don't meet some stranger in the airport. Don't get in a freaking van with them. Again, my friend told me he's legit. Obviously, he's legit. But there are mentors out there all over the world. They don't have to be like a Doug. They don't have to just be your parents. It could be anyone. It could be a teacher. It could be a colleague. It could be a friend. You know you have more mentors in your life than you think you do. I dedicate this video to my best mentor, Doug. And I look forward to, hopefully, if everything works out, for you all to meet him in one of my next episodes. As always, friend, less hate, let's go motivate. You make friends for a living, just like Doug taught me. Help people, serve people, and that will in turn serve you. Have a wonderful week, my friend. See ya. So I turn off the air because it keeps turning on and making everything loud. And now I'm sweating. Just can't win. It's so hot. It's so hot. It's 90+ degrees here with humidity, if anyone wanted to know.